Between Croatia and England in the football tonight. No goals, no atmosphere, no supporters, but fear not, we still have lots to talk about.
Well, at least nobody can boo a 0-0, can they, here, because there's no one here to do that.
Right, here we go.
The Football Daily from BBC Sport and BBC 5 Live.
I'm Darren Fletcher. Joining me on the podcast are Ian Dennis, Terry Butcher, the former England captain, and the former England winger Chris Waddle. So Croatia 0, England 0. And we thought it was going to be weird, Terry, before the match. It was probably even more strange by the fact that every now and again a small group of England fans hidden somewhere on a hill burst into song. But what about that tonight in terms of being in there and playing a game in that stadium tonight?
Yes, it was very weird. I actually had some pictures after the game. One of my friends was up there on the hill and he sent me some pictures. So we know the culprits now and the ones that were singing about England, so we know who they are. So I'm not going to actually give the police or anything else their details, thankfully. But they were there. So, well done for actually coming to the game and actually featuring as well in our commentary, because we could hear them, but we couldn't see them. So it was bizarre. But the most bizarre thing was when John Stones clapped after the game. I don't know who he's clapping, whether he's clapping the press or the photographers or the referees or the officials, I don't know, but he was clapping, and I think he was quite embarrassed about it and put his hands down pretty quick.
Would you think that playing in that atmosphere, lack of atmosphere, would have an effect on both sets of players? Because we know that, a team can be inspired by listening to a crowd, the noise, etc., etc. I mean, it was pretty much like a behind closed doors training session, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and we've all played in that, and they are sort of weird games anyway. But you are pretty much used to it as a professional. But I think the first half showed that the players they found it very strange, and I think after half time when they came out, they had got used to it, because the pace of the second half, and I think was good, and I think the players just forgot about that first half and forgot about the crowd and just got on with it because they were pretty much used to it. So it took 45 minutes for them to realise that there wasn't a crowd there, and it was a different sort of flat atmosphere, but they did get used to it, and I think the second half was much better than the first. It did fizzle out towards the end because both teams didn't want to lose the match as well. So I was a bit cautious towards the end, but the first 15-20 minutes of the second half were excellent, end-to-end, plenty of action. England hitting the target, hitting the bar, having the chances as well, and obviously Pickford made a good save and Croatia looked dangerous on the break, and we thought the second half was going to be completely different to the first half and it was going to be very good, but didn't quite hit the heights, but at least it was a better second 45 minutes than the first.
On a more serious note, that was better from an England perspective in the second half, Chris, than it was in the first.
I would say the opening 15 minutes was very positive. He obviously had words about the tempo of the game. Could they move it quicker? Could they play quicker, play higher? And Rashford, yes, he's had two glorious chances, which everybody says you should score. I thought the second one was a great save, to be perfectly honest, but, at this level, you should put them in net. I think overall, Croatia's had 2 or 3 good chances, which we've not talked about. So really, a draw is a fair result on a really dull game where it looked to me like both teams did not want to be there.
Terry, you were quite adamant before the game started that you liked what Gareth had done tonight with regard to the 4-3-3 and the switches system, etc. What would the assessment be, having watched the 90 minutes tonight in Rijeka, based on what you saw from England about playing that way moving forward?
Well, it's difficult sometimes just to go into a game with a new system and everything's going to click into place, especially against a side as well organised and as good as Croatia as well. I mean, England still have the problem with Modric. He drifts off the midfield and gets in front of the back four. He caused England a lot of problems. Barkley didn't do the same for England against Croatia as well. He was anonymous and came too deep. So, in a way you'd say Croatia's system worked better, but they've been playing that for a lot longer as well. But I was happy with the back four, the way they played. Sometimes distribution wasn't the best. They tried to pass the ball out from the back, and sometimes when Barkley and Rashford and Sterling are coming too deep, it sort of clogs a lot of things up. But it's just, it's a work in progress again. We've got to develop it and make sure that the players know exactly what their jobs are. And I'm sure Gareth and Stevie Holland will ensure that work goes on the training pitch. They're against good opposition on Monday as well, so they've got no time to feel sorry for themselves or think they've done a good job, because they're straight into action again against a team that does keep the ball probably better than Croatia, but can also hit long balls as well, and sometimes are direct, but with an extremely good amount of quality. So it is a work in progress. I think that to make the change from the 3 to the 4 and make the change in the system and bring new players in as well. I think it does take time, and I thought they applied themselves and tried to apply themselves well. Didn't work at times with the first half. Didn't work at times in possession, but it did get better, and obviously tailed off when both sides didn't want to lose the game in the end.
Terry, you've got to look at it overall. Though, all right, Rashford 2 chances were great. It's all set pieces. We even got long throws at the end with Kyle Walker. I just didn't reach, obviously, the distance. But, I've looked at it, and you've watched, obviously, you're there. But we watch, and you think, apart from them 2 chances, which you are going to carve out 2 chances, how bad or how good you are, you're going to get a couple of chances in a game. But basically, it's a set piece with us. I look at it, and I think, in general play, we do not. I know we've had 2 chances, but in 94 minutes, we've basically thought, when we get a set piece, oh, this is it, we're going to score. Maybe score. Where's Harry Maguire? Where's Stones? Where's Dyer? And you think you've got to have a little bit more than that, surely, in international football.
Oh yeah, well, definitely, Chris. We haven't got a Rakitic or a Modric in the team, so we are going to struggle to create really open chances from open play. So, unless the ball's inch perfect from the back. I mean, Maguire's hitting passes, Dyer's hitting passes, and they look good, and the runs are good there. Because at least the boys are making the runs, but the final ball and the final delivery is poor, and it's not right. So therefore, England lose possession of the ball, and an opportunity is wasted. So, if Modric and Rakitic they have those runs, they pick passes out. They are quality players. We haven't got that. So you've got to try and play to your strengths sometimes, and if it means grinding out games and scoring off set pieces, it's not great. But at least we do look a lot more dangerous on set plays. But we're looking at general play. We want us to be better in general play, and I think that will come the more they can work this system, and the more that these younger players can get in there. I mean, Barkley didn't hit it off for me at all today. I thought he was quite fortunate to stay on the pitch, and I'd like to see Maddison, and possibly see Maddison on Monday. That would be something. But Sancho's different. On the right hand side, on the left hand side, there's something about him, isn't there? Did you like him as a winger?
I've seen him play. I've saw him play, and he's confident. He's got a trick. He can go past people. The way the play, obviously people say, well, like the system, it's not going to suit him because he's a winger. I don't believe that. I think if you just say to him, look, in international football, go out and play. You're one of the 3 up front. You balance off. Well, obviously Harry Kane's going to be down the middle. So if you're on the left-hand side, you drift inside, you balance off. As soon as the ball goes dead, if you're right, you stay right. If you're left, you stay left. That should be his job. It shouldn't be saying, hug the touchline, you're going to do this. There's nobody who plays wide anymore. So, I still think he could have a start maybe on Monday with Maddison. And I know it's Spain, and people say, no, this is not going to happen. Why not? What you got to lose?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that, I know there might be a bigger picture here, that Gareth Southgate knows exactly what he's going to do with the team on Monday night against Spain, but was there any reason tonight why, even if Maddison's going to start on Monday, that he couldn't have come on at some stage tonight to try and give England something that all of you agree on that they were lacking tonight, which was a bit of creativity and impetus in the middle of the pitch?
Well, I think it needed somebody further up the pitch, like Maddison, to play within about 10 yards of Harry Kane, because Barkley was about 50 yards behind Harry Kane. He's very, very deep. Modric wasn't far away from Rebic all the time, and that consequently gave England massive problems. And he was always there and always available to find. Maddison's the same. He can work in that position. So, yeah, I am surprised, and I would have thought, well, either there must be a reason, or he's just thought, well, I want to let it go as long as possible and get them used to that sort of way of playing, and give Barkley every chance that he possibly had. But there comes a time in the game you think, do you want to win this game? And someone like Maddison could have won the game if he's in that position, then he can turn. I've seen him do that for Norwich, and I've seen him do it obviously for Leicester as well, and he is a quality player. So I was a bit disappointed about that, and I thought, well, perhaps that was an opportunity missed, rather than waiting for the game on Monday and saying, well, I'm going to change it round. So, but obviously Gareth's got to answer that. Yeah,
I think as an England fan, Chris, when you sit and watch it, you look at that performance tonight, and I take your point about the 2 chances that England created in general play tonight. But they did look like a team this evening that was more concerned that they weren't going to lose the match, as opposed to doing everything they could over the 90-odd minutes to try and win it.
I think Gareth wanted a result. I think there's no doubt about that. You saw the Croatian coach put 3 players on, no problem, was it? It was like, yeah, you're off, he's off, I'm just going to put 3 players on and see what they're like. Where I thought definitely the last half hour he could have took Barkley off. He had 2 sitting midfield players, and they were sort of on top. They caused the threat on a counter-attack, but England was sort of on top, and I think it would have done no harm at all to throw them on.
One or two results from around Europe tonight. There weren't too many goals. Belgium 2, Switzerland 1. 2 goals in that game for Romelu Lukaku. Austria beat Northern Ireland by 1-0. West Ham's Marko Arnautovic with the winner. Estonia 0, Finland 1, Greece 1, Hungary 0, Belarus 1, Luxembourg 0, Moldova 2, San Marino 0. Tranmere Rovers won in League 2 tonight. Tranmere Rovers won at Macclesfield Town 0. Eric Dyer's been speaking on the television. Some quotes from him. He says it was a very strange atmosphere. It's a formation that suits me, and the team did well. It's important for us to have that flexibility. I'm always going to give my best no matter what, regardless of the formation or team selection. And on Jadon Sancho, who became the second youngest player to make his England debut in a competitive fixture, and the youngest since Duncan Edwards did it back in 1955. Eric Dyer said Sancho was fantastic when he came on, fast, direct, confident. Hopefully he'll be a big part of the future. He needs to work hard, and I'm sure he will be. I'm hearing that John Murray may well have the England manager Gareth Southgate with him, so let's get straight to the tunnel.
Yes, with Gareth Southgate, you said to us last night, Gareth, it was going to be strange, it was going to be odd. It was all of that, wasn't it?
It was, but I think the application of the players given that was excellent. The mentality, the togetherness, the way that they defended as a unit, and the way that we built the game. I thought over the 90 minutes we were the better team and had the better chances, and a little bit more ruthless, or a penalty that I think should have been given, and I think we leave here with all 3 points.
Yeah. Concern over the missed chances?
Well, there'd be more concern if we weren't creating them. I think the way that we played tonight, we showed good endeavour, good inventive play at times, and we've got to keep getting in those situations, and the boys will score the goals.
And talk us through the change of formation to the back four then.
Well, I think it's something we had talked about a little bit after the summer. We wanted to keep a bit of continuity in September, but today we felt, over the last few weeks we had been looking at the system and what was the best way to go for this game, and I thought the players, did really well. It meant we got more pressure higher up the pitch on Croatia. We were able to get tighter to their midfield, and I thought Eric and Jordan Henderson, Ross Barkley did a very good job in there.
Yeah, and is that the way forward, or do you just want it to be an option?
Well, I don't think we should ever say that we're rigid and we only have one way of playing. I think leading into the summer we found a system that allowed some of our players to bed into international football, and now with a bit more experience, the centre-backs in particular, I feel can cope with the back four. I felt we needed a little bit more protection when they were bedding in, and with some of the young players we've got coming through in their positions, playing with wingers can suit us as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of them would be Jadon Sancho, who you gave his debut to tonight. Did you just feel that the time was right for him?
Yeah, no hesitation from what I've seen with Dortmund. And we know he could have an impact in the game. It took him a while before he received a pass, but when he did, he was really bright, and I thought our forward players were a threat all night. And in terms of debutants, I thought Ben Chilwell was excellent. I thought he had a really accomplished game. Use of the ball was very good. Patient with his defending, didn't dive in against some very good players, and covered across well a couple of moments of real danger, so I thought he should be really pleased.
Yeah, you could have done without losing both Stones and Henderson when you're going away to Spain, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we're having to overcome a huge number of setbacks with injuries and now the 2 suspensions, but look, we've players that now get an opportunity to go and play, and that's part of the process.
Good, thanks Gareth. We'll see you in Spain.
Cheers.
Thank you.
So looking forward now, fellas, to Spain. It's going to be fascinating, Ian, isn't it, to see what kind of team that Gareth Southgate puts out now to face the Spanish on Monday, bearing in mind he only made the one change during the 90 minutes tonight.
Yeah, well, he's going to be forced into making 2 changes because of the suspension and the yellow cards of Stones and Henderson. So I would think that Gomez would come in for Stones in the centre of defence. I would imagine maybe a Winks would replace Jordan Henderson in the centre of midfield, although he has been a big fan of Chalobah, but Chalobah's hardly played much for Watford. And I just wonder as well if Trippier will replace Kyle Walker at right back, because I think Kieran Trippier can feel unfortunate that he was rested or dropped instead of Kyle Walker tonight, because Trippier's done well for England in that position, particularly in the World Cup. So I think already you could be looking at 3 changes for the Spain game in Seville.
1 or 2 more bits on social media. Jeremy says that game should have been played behind closed television. I think our commentary team suggests it should be played behind closed radio as well. Matthew said a 0-0 draw, not the most exciting game, but a lot better than last time out. No crowd seemed to be a big factor. Martin says man of the match Chilwell, good going forward and covered well at the back. And this is an interesting point, fellas. At FA Cup Fact File tweeted, if a game has no goals and is played in front of no spectators, did it really happen?
Well,
sadly, yes, it did.
I was waiting for that. I thought I'd leave that for you, Dano. It's going to be interesting now.
It was it.
Go on, mate.
Sorry.
No, go on.
No, go on.
No, after you, please.
No, I was just thinking that it's a shame that it's got that official attendance of 0, because when I mentioned earlier on in the night, when West Ham played that behind closed doors European Cup tie, they had an official attendance of 262, because there was a few delegates in here in the executive boxes behind, media, and just to say there was no people watching it.
Nobody paid, Dano. Nobody's paid.
I realised at half time that the coffee shop wasn't open. I wanted a hot dog, and I realised that they're not going to open it because there's no one to sell any food to.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a shock. You wanted a hot dog at half time. I am surprised.
Cutting down.
Yeah. Do we think that? I mean, we're kind of speculating that there will be changes. There has to be a couple on Monday night against Spain. Do we think they're going to be any more expansive, England, in that match? Do you think that they might be a little bit more determined to try and win, or in fact might it go the other way, bearing in mind they're playing a Spain team that's banging form under Luis Enrique?
I'd pack the midfield.
Well, I think they'll be mindful of what happened with Croatia. I mean, Croatia got... it wasn't... They were missing Lovren at the back when they played against Spain in El Shah. He had that abductor problem, didn't he, last month? But I think they won't see hardly any of the ball against Spain, will they? It'll be a containing job, I would imagine.
I think they've got to pack the midfield, and I mean, Harry Kane obviously he's captain, so I'm sure he'll start. But I think they need pace for the counter-attack.
Do you know the thing I'm really struggling with? And Terry, I'm going to bring you in on that. I'm really struggling as an England fan. And I got really carried away during the World Cup. I watched all the matches. I got the shirt on. I didn't think we were going to win it, but I was really proud of the fact that England got to the semi-final. And here we are, a handful of games after, and we've been damage limitation behind closed doors in Croatia. We're going to be even more damage limitation on Monday against Spain. Where's the feel-good factor gone? Where's the bravery gone? Gareth Southgate's got a contract to 2022. He got a system that he seemed to like. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to play back-to-back matches, albeit against decent international teams, and we look frightened to death just not to get beat.
No, I don't think we look frightened to death. The boys are working to a new system. I think they have a belief in Gareth and a belief in the system. So I don't see we're frightened to death. We're not frightened to death of anybody.
But they're not trying to win it, are they? They're not going out there thinking we're going to take these on and we're going to give it a go and we're going to develop and we're going to see what happens.
What do you mean they didn't? What do you mean they didn't try and win it? Of course they tried to win the game.
So
you telling me that the players didn't try and win it?
Well, wouldn't you think that the manager could have done things during the second half to try and affect it a little bit more? We've just talked about the opportunity to put Maddison on, maybe more attacking players, to really go and get at the Croatia team.
Yeah, we still had a front three. We still had a quick players up there with Harry Kane, the leading scorer as well. So, no, I still think England wanted to win the game and tried to win the game. There's no doubt about that. But it just takes time. And yeah, the feel-good factor after the World Cup is still there with the players. I mean, the fans are saying, well, look, we haven't done this, we haven't done that. We lost to Spain. We've come here and drawn 0-0 and all this sort of thing. It's all this. But we haven't lost 6-0 to Spain. We haven't won. Croatia haven't won for 4 games and they got to the final. So Gareth has taken a gamble in many respects. We're playing younger players and taking a gamble in changing the system as well. So you've got to give that time for that to bed down and the players to get used to that. And the players want to do it. You can see it. They're trying hard to do it. It's not as though they haven't applied effort and application and tried to win the game as well. They made the chances. They made enough chances to have won the game. And I think it's obviously very much still a work in progress. So as a fan, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, actually, I'm quite happy with the youngsters coming through, learning the game. I'm happy with Sancho coming through as well. That's exciting as well. I'm happy with the back four, happy with the system. Yeah, come on, let's have a go. Let's work at this and see what we can do.
I can see where Darren's coming from. For me, I know where you're coming from. Like for me, last 20 minutes, half an hour. Throw Maddison onto Barkley.
Go and have a go.
Yeah, and take Henderson off. He's suspended the next game. Put on Winks or something like that to say, look, bit more energy, you run forward, whatever. But yeah, just have a go at the last 20 minutes, half an hour, and say, yeah, go and really have a right. And if we get caught on the break, you get caught on the break.
The mantra before the World Cup, before England got on the plane and went, the supporters were kind of saying, look, we've had so many disappointments at major tournaments. Let's not go and do what England did against Iceland at the Euros. Let's go down fighting. If we're going to get beat at the World Cup, let's come back and do the nation proud. And I would have hoped
which they did.
that kind of... Yes, which they did. Now you're looking at it now, and you've got to question whether they're trying to win games decisively, or they're going into matches like they did tonight, as we touched on already tonight, and the main thought is, let's get a result. Let's get out of there with something positive. But
So all of a sudden, Darren, we've used to say the expectation was nothing of us going to the World Cup. We get to the semi-final, and now all of a sudden the expectation is that we're going to be one of the best teams in the world.
No, I think my expectation...
That isn't the case.
No, my expectation, Terry, is not that. I don't expect them to go and beat Croatia over there or go and beat Spain over there. I'd be happy for England just to go on the front foot, take the game to the opposition and learn that way. Just be positive.
Well, did England not do that tonight?
I thought they could have been more
positive.
Did
they attack? Did they make chances? Did they force the keeper into the save? Did they not hit the frame of the goal twice?
Do you not think they could have been more positive tonight?
Well, the only way that he could have been more positive was if Gareth Southgate had made two more substitutions and put two more offensive players on.
Exactly.
Possibly that was the case.
Yeah.
But the play, you can't blame the players for not having a go. They certainly had a go. The ones that were on the pitch.
I'm not blaming the players. I'm asking whether the mindset of the team could be a more positive one. Maybe sent out by the coach with a more positive frame of mind.
No, I think they are sent out with a positive frame of mind. I think this team wants to win football matches, and it will do anything to win the football matches. I think there's nothing negative in the team whatsoever. I can't see where you're coming from on that one, because they make chances, they try and get forward. They're not just playing for time and kicking balls in corners and all these kind of things. He's making substitutions where we're defensively we're hanging on to 0-0 draws. A 0-0 draw for me, well, it's neither here nor there, but it is a clean sheet. But you'd say, well, we had chances to win the game, and we created chances, and we look at a threat on set pieces. We can win football matches, and they go out there to win football matches. Gareth Southgate motivates them well to win matches, and I think this team wants to do it. So I can't see... Oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't accept that.
I can see where he's coming from. I just think last half hour for me, going through everything at it, because Croatia had no ambition, let's be honest. They were quite happy to sit back, play possession, maybe try and catch on the counter-attack, which they did on a couple of occasions. But overall, they were very happy to sit deep and just think, let's run the clock down. We're quite happy to sit at 0-0.
But Chris, Pickford's made one save.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they've had chances where they've miskicked
one save.
They've miskicked a lot.
Their keeper's made a save. We've hit the bar. We've hit the post. We should have scored two chances. He's made one save. So we've had the better chances in the match. Pickford's made one save. So defensively, they've done pretty well, considering that they've gone back to a back four. Haven't played a back four for a while.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I can see where Darren's coming from as well.
Now, the Opta stats tell you tonight England recorded just 5 shots against Croatia, the fewest amount in an away game for the team since June 2013, when they had 2 against Brazil. Raheem Sterling struggling for goals. He's now gone 1,810 minutes without a goal for England. He last scored for them against Estonia in October 2015. Let's get some reaction from the tunnel in the stadium.
We're live with Ben Chilwell, who tonight made his first England start. How would you describe that experience, Ben?
Yeah, obviously, personally for me, it was a great moment making my full debut. When I found out, obviously I was a lot of different emotions. Obviously very happy, very, very nervous as well. You know, you want to make a good impression for your first start. So, a mixture of emotions. But then obviously when today come, just fully focused on the match. And it was a strange atmosphere. Obviously with no fans, but in the end, I feel like it was a good performance from everyone, and I felt like we were brave, trying to get on the ball, and obviously disappointed not to get the win. But in the end, I feel like it was a decent point.
It's a night that you'll never forget. But is it tinged with a little bit of sadness because there was nobody here, that your family weren't able to be here with you?
Yeah, of course. I would have loved my family to have been here to watch. I'm sure a few of my mates would have flown out as well, but like, it's one of them things, like you say, they were all watching at home, so you know, they did get to watch it. You know, it wasn't live, but they did get to watch it, which was a positive. And you know, I spoke to them after the game, and they were happy, so you know, I'm happy.
And you say you were nervous. I've got to admit, you didn't look nervous. Gareth Southgate has described your performance as accomplished, so you must be extremely satisfied.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's nice when the gaffer says stuff like that. But for me personally, it was, you know, as well as, you know, trying to play well for myself, it was also trying to, you know, talk to people around me and help other people, and you know, show that even though I am, you know, one of the young boys making his first start, that you know, I can be a leader and you know, talk to people around me and help them as well as myself. So you know, I felt like I did that as well today. And it was just, in the end, it was a good full debut for myself.
The atmosphere at the minute, and speaking to some of the players early in the week at Burton, everybody who seems to come in just seems to gel straight away. What does that tell you about the atmosphere that the group is sort of like generating?
Yeah, it is. All of us boys that have come in have spoken about it. It's just very, I wouldn't even know what it is. It's just very, very easy to gel, and it's just so easy to settle in with the boys. They're all so welcoming. It's very relaxed, it's very laid back around St George's Park, very homely, and you know, all the boys are top boys, and you know, the staff make you very welcome as well. You know, the food's amazing. Everything about it is just nice, and you know, it's definitely something. When you step up into the seniors, you know, it's something you know, you don't really want to go back down to the 21s with the greatest respect. Because it is such a welcoming place, and you know, it's definitely nice to step up into the seniors and be that welcomed.
And tell me about when Emil Heskey presented you with your shirt before the match.
Again, yeah, very, very special moment. Amazing for myself, especially, you know, in the change room full of such talent. It was very surreal. Obviously, at the time, I was, you know, just happy to get it in, then focusing on the match. But now looking back, it was again a very special moment.
And finally, Ben, are you relishing Spain now to look ahead to that game on Monday?
Yeah, of course, you know, that'll be another good test. And we've spoken about it as a team. It's these sort of games that you want to do well in, because these are the tests that, if you can do well, that give us the confidence to start to win these big tournaments, which again is our aim over the next few years. So, you know, everyone's looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get, well, the 3 points and, you know, have a good performance.
Well done tonight, and thank you for speaking to 5 Live.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
He was a real positive tonight, Terry, wasn't he? Ben Chilwell, he looked very comfortable out there for England.
Yeah, he got forward well, he defended well, good use of the ball, good cross in the first half as well, which just evaded Raheem Sterling. But yeah, I thought he looked a natural, didn't he? He looked as though he's had 10, 12 games at international level, so well done.
With regard to the clean sheet tonight, England have now kept a clean sheet in each of their previous 4 away games, which is their longest run of away form with regard to clean sheets since a 7-game run back in 1997. So at that end of the pitch, Terry, very positive for England. They're managing to be strong, they're managing to be solid. That'll be something that will really please Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, it certainly will. It gives a bit of stability to the team, and you know, they know that if they can score a goal, then with the way that the defenders are playing, that they can possibly hold on to a lead as well. So it does give you confidence, but they've still got to work at it. There's still new players coming in. There's got to be, obviously, John Stones is out on Monday, so Gomez looks as though he's going to come in. So you know, it's another new youngster into the back 4. So but, you know, that's what happens at international football. You know, you don't get a lot of time to work. You've got to make it work when you can.
And, of course, next up it's Spain, which is going to be another difficult test. But they're a team, aren't they, Terry, that pose an entirely different set of problems for England?
Yes, they are. They've, under Luis Enrique, they've changed their style a little bit as well. They're sometimes a little bit more direct, and there's not this much of this tiki-taka stuff. But they do retain possession of the ball really well. They are comfortable in possession. That's what they thrive on. They wear the opposition down, and they can also hit very quickly. One quick pass or one long pass can open up a team, because the defending team against Spain has to come towards the ball to try and block it. But it is wonderful football to watch, unless you're playing against them. You don't really want to watch it. You want to get to the ball, and you want to try and get the ball off them and score. So it is difficult, but it's a challenge. I mean, England went 1-0 up in the match at Wembley, and then eventually lost the game when Rashford scored, and eventually lost the game 2-1 because Spain were very, very good in possession and took their chances when they had them. So England made the chances against Croatia, so didn't take them. And I think when you're on top, you must put the ball in the back of the net. So, yeah, a different challenge, but a good one, and a good test for the younger players as well. So,
are you off to Spain?
Yeah, I'm going to Spain. Yeah,
that'll be nice. That'll be nice.
Looking forward to that. But
yeah,
but I mean, when you say going to Spain, it's like, well, you're going to Croatia, then you're going to go to Spain. You think, oh, great. But I would love to spend more time in Croatia. It's really surprised me how wonderful this country is. It's unbelievable.
Oh, fantastic!
Good beer as well. Good wine.
Good stuff. I knew you'd know about that.
This is the Football Daily Podcast.